Alright, this is another example of a percent problem. In this problem, you are not given the percent, but you can still use a proportion to solve it. So 30 is what percent of 216? So again, I'm going to use a proportion to solve this problem. So since it says what percent, that means I don't know the percent. The question is asking me what percent. So since I don't know the percent, then I don't know what goes over 100. And since I don't know what goes over 100, I'm going to use a variable. So x over 100. Okay? And so now this part of my proportion is done. So here's my second part of my proportion. Now my 100% number, what represents my whole thing, is this 216, because I want to find out 30 is what percent of this number. So that is my 100% right here. And this is my number that I want to find the percent of. So since this is the percent number, then that will go across from there. So again, you're going to use cross multiplication. And you're going to get 100 times 30 equals 216 times x. I didn't mention this in the last video, but when you're multiplying something by a variable, you don't put the multiplication sign, you just write the variable right next to the number. So like 3 times x would just be 3x, or 12 times x would just be 12x. So 216 times x is just 216x. And that's just how you write it. That's algebra. That's always going to be with you throughout your math. So now I have 100 times 30. Well, I could just do 1 times 3 is 3, and then put the 3 zeros on there. 1, 2, 3. And equals 216 times x. So remember, like the last one, this means 216 times something equals 3,000. So that also means that 3,000 divided by this number equals this number, or 3,000 divided by this number equals this number. But we don't want to do 3,000 divided by x because we don't know what x is. So we're going to do divided by on both sides. And remember, this sign means divided by because all fractions are division problems. So we're dividing by 216 because you know you need to divide 3,000 by 216, and that way you get x by itself too. So this equals 1. 216 divided by 216 x, because 1x is just x, because 1 times anything is just that thing that it is. And then 3,000 divided by 216, once 216, and 2, I probably shouldn't do all this math because it probably takes too long. 84, then you always bring down, ooh, okay, I think that's 4. So 4, make sure, 216 times 4, yeah, oh, no, too much, so 3. I should have checked first. $216 times 3, 648, 7, 14, 13, 10, 2, 9, and 1. 192, so that was 3. And I always want you guys to go to the nearest hundredth, even though percents, I should probably let you just round to the nearest percent, but I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, how many times does it go into that? Probably, I'm going to try 8 first. 216 times 8. Okay, 17, 28. You guys can skip this part if you already know how to divide. And make that 12, turn that to 11, 10, so 2, 9, and then 1. Oh, again, it's 192, so it's going to keep repeating. So then that was 8, so it's going to be 38.8888888 forever. So that means that x equals 13.89. And this is a percent because it's asking us what percent, and we found out what percent. I'm just going to check my math on my calculator really quick and hope that I did it right. I did. So, also you could obviously ask yourself what makes sense. 30 is what percent of 216? Oh, it's a little more than 10%. That makes sense because 30 is 10% of 300. That's a little less than 300. Alrighty, I'm going to try to do one more video right now.